This is how we roam and harvest.
Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Roam and Harvest. Today I'm here with Corso from Capitolo Tuscano. I think I said that right.
Correct.
I am here to hunt some fallow deer and some roe deer. Whatever happens, happens. And first impressions is this is an incredibly beautiful, amazing place. Corso has been great in helping me get out here, and our collaboration hopefully interests you guys, and hopefully you guys follow Corso. I'm going to have everything, all the links in the description, stuff like that if you're interested. But first of all, Corso, my friend, tell me about you. Tell me about this amazingly beautiful place that you have here.
Thank you. So, we moved here with my family in the early 90s. So I basically from here, I was always been in love with this land. Since I was a child, I've been going in the woods with my father, picking mushrooms, truffles, wild herbs. So I've always been in contact with nature. And when I was barely a teen, I had the opportunity to start this adventure into hunting. And I really got hooked, and it developed in something I would describe just as, the biggest passion of my life. That's amazing for sure. Because, that's why we connected. Because I think our idea behind hunting is not solely focused behind the pursuit of an animal, but is the world surrounding animal, nature, as you guys are titled, harvest. So being able to understand and take responsibility for what we get and bringing it to the table, being able to transform it, and respecting ultimately our animal, the animal we choose to pursue.
Yeah, we love the circular relationship of all these things in sort of in tandem with each other, right? We often talk about like the hunt, and it is very exciting to go out and track these animals who are incredibly difficult to hunt, maybe to the surprise of non-hunters out there. But everything leading up to the hunt, the traveling, the mental mindset, preparing your body for a especially difficult hunt, practicing with your gun or practicing with your bow, everything that goes before, beginning, in the middle, and after the hunt is this beautiful complex of items that really come together beautifully, and we have a strong passion for it, right? Not only does it get us to a point where we have a closer relationship with the food that we eat and when we serve and cook for other people, which we have some videos coming out of our hunts today. And speaking of that, tell me about Capitolo Tuscano, this specific region of Italy, and the game that you typically hunt in a year.
Yeah. So basically, this passion then developed into something more because I was able and lucky enough to travel and experience hunting in other countries across the globe, and I've been in touch, with different guides. I've seen how they work, and I always missed a bit of the perception and the feeling that when you go hunting, you want to experience something. That means getting to know a territory, a culture, being able to eat what you take from the woods. It's important. And that was a major aspect that was missing from my experiences. So I decided to create something that felt more like, I have a friend in Italy, in Tuscany, that has lots of connection and can take me out hunting.
Right.
So that's my...
like hunting with like-minded people. Correct. Right. You're having the entire experience, right? Rather than getting shipped in, get the job done, okay, get out of here, next.
Yeah.
Right. More rather than a line that is feeding a production, you have this very much this experiential feel, not only the culture surrounding this particular area in Italy, but the way that you have learned to hunt and the things that you've learned, the way you skin an animal, the way that you prepare your food is very custom to you, and you impart that on us, which was very much appreciated, by the way. I learned a lot of things. Most folks know that I'm a fairly novice hunter compared to most folks out there, and I'm still learning and how different people do different things. And I really appreciated the way you approached it. It wasn't that this is how you have to do it. It's only this way. you said, this is what I've learned how to do. This is how I go about it, and it helps me because of X, Y, and Z. And that was a really nice thing for me to see, who doesn't know it all, who doesn't, know every method of cooking or how to butcher an animal. And you showed me a lot of things today that I'm definitely going to be incorporating into the way that I handle my game from here on out.
Oh, I'm very glad. But, I think that's a big part of what people are looking for, an experience that is 360, sharing culture, knowledge with another person. So it's a much more personal as an approach. So that's always been my, dream hunting travel experience. So that's why I went on to Capitolo Tuscano, because in my opinion, it's something that was missing, and so I focused on what I know, because a lot of people go on about different experiences, but how many do they actually know? How many territories do they, can recognize a trail immediately by looking at it? So I was like, okay, let's focus on something I know. Tuscany. I've always lived here. I hunted all my life here. I'm an expert. I can say, I'm still learning every day, but I like to think that I know quite a bit about this woods. And so I really enjoy sharing that with people. And I wanted to focus on what I know. So Tuscany and the animals that are surrounding Tuscany. Roe deer, wild boars, fallow deer, and some focused game, small game birds. Yeah, they're migratory, that is fun, that is native to the area. It has to be a balance between, something, an educational journey, people being able to understand what's behind hunting, sure, conservation, because we're not over harvesting. There is a reason why we shoot an animal rather than another. And when we go out, we tend to have a focus. We're not just going out to shoot the first thing that comes in our sight.
Absolutely.
We're looking for a specific animal that is going to suit our needs and might as well contribute to the genetics, the environment, and so on. So we focus on this.
Yeah, I've definitely seen. We saw a lot of game when we were out there. We saw a lot of fallow doe and their fawns. We're hunting in the middle of September, and a little pre-rut.
Correct.
So the bucks aren't out as aggressively maybe as normal. But we saw plenty of roe deer, a ton of birds. This place is chock full. And you had mentioned that this is a fairly unpopulated area for human beings, and also quite a very populous area for hoofed animals and game in the region, right?
Yeah. So technically, Grosseto, so the province we're in, is the fourth least populated populated province in Italy, and it's quite vast. So it's wilderness, woods, rivers, streams, some open fields, vineyards. So it's mostly an area where this kind of animals thrive. And we have one of the highest concentration of hoofed animals in Europe. And it's comparable to Austria or Germany in the region of Tuscany. That is also why we have such a strong culture for hunting. I would say probably lots of hunting styles are very peculiar to this region. Sure, if you go outside of Tuscany, you're still gonna find hunting, Marche, Abruzzo, Lombardia. They offer different kind of experiences. But here is where we have very strong abundance and a strong culture that goes back hundreds of years.
Sure, hunting. Sure. Yeah, we've seen it on the menus in the local restaurants, right? Especially the wild boar. It's excellent. And as part of that, and everything that we've been doing since we've been here, I want to talk about a little bit in terms of the styles of hunting that you offer, right? So we kind of did a little bit of everything. Maybe not everything, but we did it quite a bit. We had some, steeper walks that were a little bit more challenging, a little bit more difficult, spot and stalk style things. And then we had a spot and stalk that was, nice and gradual and easy and sort of, slow moving. And then we had a more of a farmland or sit hunt where we kind of made a ground blind. We sat down for the evening. And the reason I mention this is there's a lot of different hunters that may have limitations. They may be a bit older, have bad hips. bad backs, whatever it may be, or they're super active, they want to be up and moving and doing the hardest stuff they can be. Can you walk me through a little bit of what you offer in terms of the different clientele that you receive?
Yeah. So basically, we've been working with, all sorts of hunters. And with that, I mean from novices to experts to very athletic people to, I could say an elderly audience. So we can work with everybody.
Whoever, yeah.
We do stalking, so level stalking, which can be quite challenging because we have some terrains here that range from 0 to 300 meters. That will be around 900 feet. And it's quite challenging because it's difficult terrain, thick woods, going up and down, covering quite a bit of distance every day. To spot and stalk, a bit relaxed, but already for somebody that is able to move around, or high seat, which is very comfortable and you're in a safe environment. For the novices, we're gonna have a safe environment where you can be followed by a professional guide closely. I mean, you're always gonna be accompanied by a professional guide, but in that environment it is a bit easier. Or as well, we also organize driven hunts. But that I would say is totally a different
ball game for sure. Yeah, the drives can be, number one, you have to have a group of people who understand what a drive is, know how to drive. So tell me about one of your favorite or most exciting or most dramatic hunts that you've had here, maybe with a client, maybe without a client.
But it's difficult, every hunt has something to offer. Sometimes is the binding with the client that, it just fosters the excitement during the hunt. And when you're finally managing to get, the result you want, you're very happy. That's something that it's built up with the connection with the person.
Sure.
I mean, I could say a couple of weekends ago, I had a hunter from Austria. Very, very nice person, and I wasn't sure who I was gonna encounter when I met him, when I had the conversation with him over the phone, and then I was, I met this person 5:30 in the morning in the dark, in the middle of the woods, and he came out of his car with his dog on the leash that was coming on the hunt with. Oh wow! So yeah, that's it. Probably a bloodhound, and so we had this beautiful hunt. 2 hours stalking around non-stop throughout this wood and field area, which is a stunning morning. And we managed in the end to connect with one of the oldest roebucks I had in the area. So we had a very fruitful morning, and it was a beautiful moment. It was, long shot, and that we had an immediate connection with this person. The fact that, I was bringing around this dog meant that this guy, was really into what he was doing. So I really appreciate sharing that moment with people that, grasp the value of these things, for example.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting. As growing up, obviously in hunting in South Carolina, I always wondered if I came to a different country, like what hunting would be like with other people. And I don't know if it's surprising or not surprising that they're literally exactly the same. Like, we talk about the same things. We have the same sort of passions. We have the same sort of lingo. We have the same sort of ideas on how game management should happen. And so it's really interesting to see across cultures, across peoples, no matter where you're from. Hunters are hunters, they understand it, and you can find that common ground, right? And that's always been really cool for me as an experience.
And I think, that really adds up to the idea that when you're able to, get in touch with a guide that is a true passionate person about hunting, get part shirt, then you're going to find somebody that is going to share something with you, and you're gonna have a good time.
Absolutely.
You're gonna you want approachable people, and it's always fun when it comes to to a situation like this, and you're able to meet with people as think alike.
I mean, we had a great hunt. I mean, we started off really not knowing what to expect. I mean, we showed up and we had no idea. I mean, I had no idea. And we got up on that little mountain hill thing, whatever you want to call it. And as that sun was rising and I'm seeing these rolling hills and these wood thickets and just the openness of everything. It was really beautiful. It was incredible. And I fell in love with the country almost immediately. And then we got on some animals and we started getting serious, started getting busy. And finally, we had an opportunity on a nice roebuck. We took it and it worked out. And you taught me how to make pasta from scratch because I did not know how to do it. And I tell you what, it was incredible. We made that ragu from the roe deer meat. Man, if you guys have not seen that video, go watch the cooking video, or I guess it'll actually be coming out after this, so excuse me. That was one of the most mind-blowing things to me at how good that food was, especially with fantastic Italian wine, which I also got a little bit of a lesson for, which I really appreciate. So I really want to just say thank you so much. It's been fantastic hunting with you. I think we're planning on doing some future hunts together, hopefully out west or maybe in a different part of the world. And we can meet other like-minded people who really enjoy what we do and why we do it. So salute.
Salute. Cheers. Cheers.
And with that being said, folks, we're going to wrap it up. Capitolo Tuscano, Corso is an amazing guy. He has a lot to offer. He's very, very knowledgeable of this area. If you ever thought about coming to Italy and hunting in Italy, it's very affordable, it's very accessible, and I think you'll have a fantastic time. And where we're at is we're about 2.5 hours from Florence, about 2.5 hours from Rome. So you can bring the family, you can do whatever you want, you can see all the sights, but most importantly, you can experience what hunting culture is like in Italy. And if you're lucky, of course, I'll whip you up a batch of fresh pasta ragu, which will, I'm not kidding you, blow your mind.
That's true.
So
You're the kind.
so check out all this stuff below. But we really appreciate it, and we hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Tune in for the next episode of Roman Harvest.
Cheers.